And now from our studios in downtown Winnipeg, it's time for 107 Live.
And 107 Live continues today with not one but two guests in the studio. We've got on cello, we have Natalie Dawe, and on bassoon, Kristy Tucker, both winners of the 2015 scholarships. Last year's Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg gave them a couple awards. Natalie won the 2000 Madeleine Gauvin Scholarship. Kristy won the Holtby Scholarship on bassoon. And they're both going to play live this morning in the studio. We're going to begin with bassoon, and Kristy Tucker's got a song. Good morning, Kristy.
Good morning.
Okay, so what have you got lined up for us this morning?
I'm just going to play the first movement of Vivaldi's Bassoon Concerto in E minor.
Kristy Tucker on the bassoon. Thank you, Kristy. We'll just bring you in closer to the mic now. There we go. So a little bit about Kristy before I chat with her. She is now studying her Masters of Music with Stéphane Lévesque, who's the principal bassoonist with the Montreal Symphony Orchestra, and that's at the Sherbrooke School of Music, McGill University. She's won numerous awards, including University of Manitoba Concerto Competition in 2013, and she won the 2015 WMC Scholarship for the Holtby Scholarship, and she's performing this weekend as part of the Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg concert for all the scholarship winners. Good morning, Kristy.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in this morning, making it through the snow with your bassoon.
Thank you for having me.
So, I wanted to ask you, tell me about your relationship with a bassoon, when you first fell in love with a bassoon.
I started relatively late, I guess, compared to most classical musicians. I started when I was 16.
That is relatively late. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, it caught me off guard. I thought you were going to say 8 years older.
Yeah, no.
16. Wow, okay.
Yeah, most people don't start bassoon till later, but I also started it much later than most people.
Mm-hmm.
I played flute in middle school and the beginning of high school. And my high school band director, I went to Vincent Massey Collegiate, Jackie Dawson. She asked all the students if anyone wanted to switch to bassoon because we needed one. I am a little bit competitive, and I was playing second flute, and I didn't like it, so I thought, maybe I'll just see what it's like. I mean, I never really viewed music as something I wanted to pursue as a career, so it was just something fun that I was going to do. I was pretty good at it when I first started, and she encouraged me to start taking lessons, and then fell in love with it, and then fell out of love with it, and fell back in love with it. So that's where we are
As
now.
most relationships can happen.
Yeah.
So that's quite a switch from the flute to the bassoon, I suppose. I mean, what were the challenges in switching from one to the other?
I mean, they're completely different, so I can't really equivocate the flute to the bassoon. It was like starting fresh, pretty much. There's lots and lots of thumb keys on the bassoon, and there's one thumb key on the flute. I've never played on a reed instrument before that. It was just something completely different. I kind of didn't even equivocate them in my mind at all. It was just starting fresh.
And also the repertoire, too. I mean, there's not as much repertoire for the bassoon as for the flute, right?
Yeah, in some senses, yeah. I guess if we're talking about Baroque music, Vivaldi wrote 37 bassoon concertos. So we have a lot of repertoire there, but as far as romantic repertoire, there's virtually nothing there. We do borrow some flute music, some cello music, stuff like that. But yeah, you're right, there's not really as much. But I'm not really a solo player, I guess, so it hasn't really bothered me at this point. So
Now, yesterday we had on the show Jana Kim, and
Yes.
You're going to the same school as her, and you mentioned you're in an ensemble with her as well.
yes, we're in a quintet together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. You get to perform together in Winnipeg now. You're both from Winnipeg. You're both at McGill. Or
Yeah.
both in McGill. The only two Winnipeg, you're saying the only two Winnipeg musicians, instrumentalists.
Yeah, it's funny because we never really played together in Winnipeg, and then we both moved to Montreal the same year, and now we're both in an ensemble together, so it's fun. Yeah.
And you're, what is your repertoire for the weekend?
For the weekend, I'm going to be playing the full Vivaldi E minor concerto, and then a French piece by Henri Dutilleux, Sarabande and Cortege.
Well, that's going to be an amazing show. We look forward to hearing that. Thank you very much. We're going to swing the microphone over now. Sitting over there we go. You want to lean in a bit closer there. We have on the cello in the studio as well, we have Natalie Dawe. A little bit about Natalie. She's recently completed the Masters of Music degree in Performance at Western University's Don Wright Faculty of Music, where she studied with Thomas Wiebe. She was the recipient of graduate scholarship and teaching assistantship as well. And she is now back living in Winnipeg and at the University of Manitoba. So welcome to the studios.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So tell us when you first started playing the cello.
I actually started on violin when I was 3 years old, and piano. And I guess I was a little bit lazy, and I wanted to sit down rather than hold up my instrument. So I saw a cello around, I guess I was 5 years old, and I thought, that's pretty cool. I don't have to
stand up
and awkwardly hold an instrument anymore. And plus, I really enjoyed the sound of cello.
Now, you grew up with music around the house, I'm assuming?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Yes, your father is a musician?
And my mother.
And your mother?
Both of my brothers also played violin at the same time.
Oh, wow. Did any of them switch? Are they stuck with violin?
Well, they all went on to different careers.
So tell us about the cello and what it is about the cello that you love. And do you ever regret switching from the violin?
No regrets.
No regrets?
What I love about the cello, I guess I love the repertoire, the range of it. Some say it's the entire range of the human voice. Mostly the repertoire.
Is there a particular genre of
romantic music.
So any composers that you...
Rachmaninoff. Yeah, is probably my all-time favorite.
So your goal is to become a solo cellist, or do you like the ensemble? Or
I actually really enjoy teaching as well as performing. So this year I'm actually teaching a lot more than performing, which is completely different from previous years. I've been just performing for school and that kind of thing. I'm just kind of figuring it out which I prefer or what I enjoy more. But I kind of like a balance, I think.
Now, when you talk about teaching, are there any particular teachers that you had that have inspired you? And
yeah, the principal cellist at the WSO, Yuri Hooker, and then Mina Rose Chung at U of M, and Thomas Wiebe, they're all fantastic teachers, all very different teachers, but they each inspired me in different ways.
And what's inspiring you this morning? What are you going to play?
I will be playing the prelude from the second Bach suite.
The stage is all yours. On the cello, that was Natalie Dawe, and before that on the bassoon we heard Christy Tucker. They're two of the performers who will be as part of the 2015 WMC Scholarship Winners Recital this Sunday. Women's Musical Club of Winnipeg putting that show on there. Just two of the performers, and I just wanted to say I have a great job. I get to sit here and watch such amazing musicians from so close. So thank you both for coming in this morning, and best of luck with your your teaching and your careers over in Montreal. It's okay. Oh, I just knocked over the music, swinging the microphone over. So again, thank you for coming in, and it's been a pleasure having you here. Have a great weekend too. Merry Christmas.
From our studios in downtown Winnipeg, you've been listening to 107 Live, Classic 107's Intimate Concert Series, the soundtrack for your life.